Welcome back to another video on the channel, everybody. Today we're gonna go over a Death Levi deck list for standard. Um, this character is very cool. He is a 628. We're building him off the Death symbol, but we are playing a few of the Air attuned cards. Um, and then just to note, my sideboard is just a bunch of 1Xs that I'd like to try in the deck. Not that I want to play them, but it's just something that I had some thoughts of. So let's get into it. He gets +1/+1 for all charge and or weapon attacks, and then he gets to commit himself to add a weapon card from your card pool to your hand. So you could also do this like if you don't use him on like your turn, and you can also just return a block to hand. If you block with like a weapon attack or weapon card, excuse me, you can just add a weapon card back to your hand. So if you block with like a foundation or whatnot, you can return it to block again. So he's kind of like a weird, incredible display in a way. So we are going to do a pretty cool loop using ambush thrust and dual needle lunge. So that's kind of the gimmick of the deck. The rest of it's all good stuff for the most part. So I'm going to sort things by difficulty like normal, and we're going to get into it. We got 4 ambush thrust. It adds a card for momentum to our hand. So the loop is we play dual needle lunge, cut ourselves 3. It gets to go to momentum, and then we get to pick this up. We get to pick it back up with this, and then pick this up with Levi, and then play the dual needle lunge. We play the dual needle lunge, then pick this up with Levi, and then shove the dual needle lunge, and then we play the ambush thrust again to get the needle lunge back. So it's kind of a weird loop. Sure, you're paying 3 health per time you play a dual needle lunge to do it, but yeah. We got 3 gouging needle. It is probably one of the best French vanilla cards in the game. Plus 0 high block, it's 5 speed, and our character it's a 6 low for 5, power 3, which is really good. Instant Shining Flash, since this card's come back into the meta with girl at a girl power, there's no reason not to run it. It makes our cards easier to play. It's momentum hate. It's a fantastic low block. It is a 5 high for 5 in our character. At an Attack on Titan Battle from Humanity, we're playing double bladed spin. It is an ultra rare. It's a 4 difficulty 3 check, 3 mid for 4, plus 3 mid block. But we really want to be able to, we want to mill 3 off this blitz and get a weapon attack and a weapon foundation milled this way to our hands. So we're going to be able to get just more hand advantage. Also has a nice deadlock blitz. Excuse me. And our character, it is a 4 mid for 5, so it's not terrible, but it is a nice 4 diff that we get to use. Dual needle lunge, it's a 4 high for 6 in our character with EX2. If your opponent's stacking things on top of their deck, you get to mill stuff. Basically, it's just going to complete the loop. We got 3 copies of Risky Encounter, which is probably top 5 attacks in the set, if not top 3. It's a 5 difficulty 3 check, plus 1 high block, 4 high 4, stun 1, fury weapon. In Levi, it's a 5 high for 5. Blitz, if your rival has more foundations than you get damage. X equals the difference. Pardon me. Form, discard pile, sacrifice 3 foundations, try to play this attack as your next, from your discard pile as your next form. It gets -2 difficulty. This is going to be, I guess I wasn't going to drink anything. It's going to be like one of those cards that you're going to have to actively make sure your opponent has or doesn't have in their discard pile, because they can nuke you from orbit from out of nowhere with this card. Getting into our 0 diffs, these guys need no introduction. Surviving the final at a 3x, Syndicate Target as a 3x, Botan's Coaching as a 4x. We definitely need to be able to cycle draw, and or just get cards back into our hand and filter into the good ones and get rid of the bad ones. 3 Struggling with Study is still one of the best defensive pieces that Death has. We get a refreshing slice out of 1x. It is a weapon foundation, so double bladed spin can get this into our hand, and we need a momentum out, because I think the only momentum outs we have is we have EX2 here and powerful 3 there, and then this thing. So Settling all debts, more card draw. Hey, we're both playing the game. I get to draw a card. I'm with you. Response remove. After this card enters your discard pile during the enhanced step, it gets +2 or -2 damage. We do have ways to destroy our foundations, or I should say sacrifice our foundations now, in the deck. So we're going to be able to utilize this +2 damage. Usually it's going to be for +2. -2 damage. We don't play. I do not see any. Yep. We don't have a lot. We don't have defensive destruction outside of just blowing up our own stuff for damage. So yeah. Keep watch for Titans. It's a -2 speed. If it's a 7 or greater, if printed difficulty 7 or greater, give us -3. So we want to get our momentum back. Playing Prehensile Tail is a 2x. We want to hate on our opponent's foundations. This card's criminally underplayed right now. Flip, mill one, steal a rival foundation. It's super easy. You hate that problem foundation, don't have a way to deal with it. Well, now you do. You just flip and point. 2 Keiko's Aids for blocking. I'm not the biggest fan of this card because a lot of the times, if people just play through it, you have to time it right. Like it's usually the best. After a second or a third attack you block and you flip this. That's the issue, is that are you going to be able to block a second or a third attack? We got 3 latent skill. We like to filter. We also like snipes, so we want to make sure we, we like, if our attacks are being blocked, we want to make sure our rival foundations are going to be taken care of. This allows us to flip it. Mikasa defeats the female Titan, a 2/4 +3 low block flip response. After you block an attack, it deals no damage. It's better wall cling. Traumatic Scene, -3 speed on a 2/5. I mean, we've played worse. And, I mean, Death doesn't have a whole lot of speed hate, so we get speed hate from air, which is really great. Disrupting Plans. If you sacrifice a foundation this enhanced step, you get a damage. And how we sacrifice our foundations is draw your swords. That's a 2/5 +3 low block weapon, so we get to get it with dual bladed spin. Enhance, sacrifice a foundation, your weapon attack gets 1 damage and 1 stun. So with our character, it gets 1 and 2, and a perpetual 1 speed by stunning. And Deadlock Enhance, it goes our weapon attacks +1 speed. It's really weird because it's either you can play, I feel you play this, or you play Death Maneuvers, depending on what your your block spread. Like if you're light on lows, sure it's a +3 low, but we're playing enough speed hate. But there's probably a world where we split it at a 3 and 2. It just depends, because if our opponent goes into deadlock and we have both of them on board, that's just crazy. Some honorable mentions: Genkai's Guidance. It's great defense. Knott's Flask is also very good. It's great. It's offense and defense. Learning the standards, so we don't have to use cards out of our hands to thwart our opponent's turn. The issue is a lot of attacks are double digits coming out of Attack on Titan, so it's really risky taking 13 to face when it's like half our life total. Like I said, Death Maneuvers is a maybe depending on blocks. Always Cool is a fantastic card to lock damage. We don't want our opponent to get momentum. We want to stop shift cards, so we could flip. Echo's still a problem. Aaron Sidestep's one of those cards that I don't know. Like, I put in Traumatic Scene because it's reusable. This is defensive card draw, because you're never going to give your attack -2 speed to draw a card, Excited for Blood, because if we hit, we get to card draw and gain. Showdown's a fantastic, fantastic card for defense. We love resets, so Desperate Struggle. Battle Order Release, it is a charge. The issue is it doesn't have weapon, so I wasn't sure, but there probably is a world where we take out maybe Gouging Needle and play this, or we take out Double Bladed Spin and play this, because it still draws you a card. It draws you a card more than maybe draws you a card, and its damage gets bigger. It's a 5 high for 5 in Levi. Well, 5 high for 6 at least base. and Deception Dagger. It's a weapon. It's a 3 mid 6 in him. It gets a billion speed. It has stun 2. It gives the rest of the weapons stun 2. Um, it's the first draft build, so I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but it is something that I was thinking about because I think the character's pretty cool. Being able to like Deception Dagger, play an attack, pick up Deception Dagger, or the whole dual needle lunge ambush thrust loop is really cool. Um, so that's really neat. But let's take a look at the stats. We have 63 total cards, 20 attacks, 43 foundations. We're looking at 22, 19, 22. So pretty rounded, very balanced on the defensive block on the block spread. But yeah, that's all I got for you today, guys. Just a quick video showcasing a Death Levi build. So like, comment, subscribe. Uh, let me know what you think of the deck. If you have some cool Levi tech that I do not have in my deck, let me know. And until the next video, take care.